Hello everyone, today we're watching msrm on the Infernals and Refresh on the Vanguard, and it's very nice to get a replay of Refresh because his accounts are closed so I can't go snooping on all of his games. But anytime somebody like msrm or High or JXP get a game against Refresh, I will try and cast it because he's extremely talented. He's one of the top players, certainly one of the top Korean players. He has his own ideas on how to play the game. Very, very strong and creative player, so I'll keep an eye out on Refresh for sure. And we can see here msrm opening with an Iron Vault very quickly because the Sentry Post meta is in full force, and if you don't have this quick Iron Vault, you basically just die to that one opener from the Vanguard player. But Refresh is opting in for the fast expand. He's pulled 4 workers with Overcharge, and he will be tucking his command post over there by the tree line, furthest away from the ramp as he can get it without sacrificing any early mining. msrm going for the fast expand in the natural, and now he could make a brute and send it across the map, start harassing Refresh. We won't have any units for a while. Refresh already getting 2 workers on Therium, and remember the overcharge is still in effect, so they're mining a little bit faster with that movement speed. msrm actually sending an imp over to his 3rd base, so it looks like he's actually going for an Iron Vault into a double expand. And this makes sense because msrm is thinking, look, Vanguard gets to expand in his natural with 4 workers, Overcharge boosting that even harder, and I have to build an Iron Vault to not lose to Sentry Post Rush, and then I have to sacrifice a worker, which builds the natural much slower. So you can see Vanguard already has, this is 5 mining plus another 3 building, so about 8 workers in his natural. msrm is now just getting 3 workers in his natural. So it makes sense that he's trying to get this 3rd, and we'll see how Refresh decides to play against this, because if he lets the 3rd go up and saturate, then obviously he's just 1 base down and he's not feeling too great about it. But he's making a Lancer for now, and a Mech Bay immediately makes a Hedgehog. Another Overcharge is cast, which basically tells us there'll be another Mech Bay as soon as he gets the Therium for that one more collection. There it is. 2nd Mech Bay going down. 1st Hedgehog is on its way. A Brute, finally, after the 3rd base goes down, msrm can afford the Brute and is sending that around to scout. Happy to trade with a Lancer. The Brute just absolutely decimates a Lancer, so chasing that Lancer. The 1st Hedgehog is about to pop out, and that will obviously shoo away this Brute and can actually chase him across the map. So this Brute is dead, but msrm gets the scout. He sees double Mech Bay. He knows what he's up against. Splits the Brute, and the reason he does this is to deny the veterancy from the Vanguard units, which obviously the more they kill, the more veterancy they get more health and other stats depending on the unit. Hedgehog comes in, sees what's up, sees that there's production unfinished in msrm's 3rd, and he does indeed have this 3rd. So he knows that the opponent, msrm, is being greedy. msrm also has another conclave here, which is quite far away from the 3rd. msrm actually complained to me saying, why are all of the 3rds on this map forward? You know, you have to build towards your opponent in quite a big way. Like if you look at the distance between the main and the 3rd and the opponent's natural and the 3rd, it's not actually that different. But we can see 3 Hedgehogs and a Lancer coming in. 7 workers with Overcharge and another Lancer. So 2 Lancer, 3 Hedgehog by themselves, not very scary. But with the threat of Sentry Posts as well, all of a sudden Vanguard looks very scary at this point in the game. Sentry Post coming in very quickly, finishes up. 1 Lancer gets in there, the other one's kind of chilling. He's almost dead. He actually manages to get the healthy Lancer out of the bunker, and a injured Lancer joins the bunker instead and is able to save that. The forward sentry posts trying to be built, but again getting denied. We'll see if this one goes up. No, msrm says no, we can't have more than 1 sentry post. That would be disastrous. Getting some workers here, so the workers are going down. That's great, turning into fiends, tanking the Hedgehogs. But this Buzzsaw cannon in the back did a lot of damage, and now the Lancer is out of it, and instead we have the Repair-O-Matic, which will heal up the Hedgehogs and also the workers. Another Buzzsaw cannon does finish up in the front there, so msrm kind of getting hard punished here. This 3rd base, just before msrm's production really got to kick in and make use of the extra money, he gets hard punished in his 3rd base. The Magnodon comes out and does do some stomps. The Hedgehogs are faster. They do extra damage to heavy, which the Magnodon is. and the Mangodon goes down as well. So looking pretty disastrous for msrm, who is now quite behind in supply at this stage in the game. The imps trying to evacuate, but there's no hope there either. This Stormgate completely ignored because all the action started in msrm's third base. And you can see the 2 workers remaining here also just repairing the hedgehogs. The repair-o-matic there as well to repair the hedgehogs up to full. And msrm scuttles back into his main and natural and is thinking about how he could possibly survive the onslaught of hedgehogs and lancers that are coming out towards him. Fiends do split across the map. We'll see what they decide to do, but yeah, I don't really know what msrm could possibly produce here. Infernals is kind of all about momentum, and we've lost that, losing the third base and all the production structures in there. So yeah, you can see the supply difference there, 20 extra supply for Vanguard, and it's pretty good supply, right? It's not all in Lancers or something, it's in Hedgehogs, which scale very well together, being a big ball of range units that are so quick. Actually just coming in and targeting down the production here, because he knows Infernals take some time to get the charges up. If he can get these production structures, he could just make it so that regardless of how much money msrm has, and he does have a lot of money, he won't be able to actually spend it if his production is down. So hard punishing the mechanics of Infernals there. And msrm getting out some Hellborn. Hellborn will shred the Lancers, but there's just not that much to actually kill all of these Hedgehogs, which have been retained from the start of the game, from that push at the third. It looks like the Hellborn are going down. Yeah, Hellborn very good, you can see doing decent damage, very good damage against the Lancers, but simply not very effective against light units, which the Hedgehogs are. This Stormgate once again appearing here, but obviously going to be completely ignored as Refresh has said, no, I'm just going to take the action straight to you, try and end the game as fast as possible.
A Stormgate has appeared.
Does have 2 workers long distance mining, but no intention of a third, and GG is called. Very nice, decisive, aggressive timing there from Refresh, who basically just expand first, quick barracks, quick 2 mech bays, couple of guys on gas, pumps out Hedgehogs. He actually pulled the workers from his main where the overcharge was reactively, right? Like if msrm doesn't have a third shrine here, I'm guaranteed sure that Refresh wouldn't have bothered to do what he did, because he's not going to go into msrm's natural here if he's got a bunch of units. Even if this shrine was up, mining Therium, it's just not as close and not as viable to do this. But very nice reactive Vanguard play here from Refresh, and a solid attempt at crisis management from msrm. And that's all for me, guys. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.